this was very insightful. It was a really good watch. Hello, welcome to Just My Thoughts. I'm your host, Khaleel Ward. On this episode, I'll be talking about the new documentary on Tony Hawk. It's on HBO Max. It's called Until the Wheels Fall Off. And before you say anything, oh, you don't know Tony Hawk or you're not into skateboarding or anything, you don't have to be to enjoy this particular movie. It was very insightful about his life, growing up. And I didn't know that skateboarding, one, was so chaotic and rough and that people didn't really like him. When you have like child prodigies and stuff, they come along and people are like, oh, this guy is great. And people boost you up. If you think about somebody like LeBron James, he's on the cover of Sports Illustrated as a young kid and, everybody's watching him and it's like, good job. With Tony, it was just, he was different. His mom had him at 43. So he has siblings, but they're much older than him. So it becomes more like a parent than a sibling. So he's essentially growing up alone. He didn't really fit in any of the sports. He was too slow. He didn't like it. And then he found skateboarding and he could do it, but it wasn't that easy in terms of fitting in. He still didn't fit in, even with the other skateboarders. And it was just like, you would see him do these tricks. And they said in the movie, like, nobody's ever done this stuff before. It got to a point where he was doing so many different techniques. People thought he was cheating. And like other skateboarders were like hating on him. They was interviewing one guy. He couldn't stand Tony Hawk. He thought all his tricks were trash. He couldn't stand them. So he was an outcast amongst his own people. He talks about his relationship with his dad, how his dad helped set up tournaments, but other skaters didn't really like that. They thought his dad were playing favorites with him and stuff like that. So he couldn't win for anything in terms of with his peers. Like he could go and dominate, a tournament or something like that, but the people around him didn't, really like it. And I believe in like 1986, he goes on this incredible run after he like talked to his father about, taking a step back, and he starts winning all these tournaments. He became like a child star. Like, how you have the child movie stars and you hope that they grow up and they'll be all right. He would go win a tournament, win $20,000, and then have to go to high school the next day. So it was just different. He did so many different things amongst the skaters. He created all these different tricks. If a new trick came out, he went and he mastered it. People, elite athletes, they have this thing about them where they have to master things. They notice the little things. And that's what they said about Tony. Like he would see something he did wrong and then like tweak it a little bit and fix it. And he's known for this trick, the 900. And when the documentary starts, you see him practicing again. He's in his 50s and you see him falling and failing, and the way he's hitting the ground, it just sounds rough on his body, and he just keeps going. And that was the determination you see that he has, to become the greatest skateboarder ever. It had his ups and downs. He got to a point where he didn't want to be famous and he stopped competing because the love wasn't there, for skateboarding. And it was just really good to see, again, 2 hours of just learning all these things about him. And, and it's not all just roses with the skating and everything. They go into his personal life and his marriages and stuff like that and his kids. And it's just, you watch him struggle and then you watch him climb back in an incredible way. Like he was winning tournaments and like skateboarding was doing like this. It had this flow and it bounced back in a strong way, a lot because of him. He was at the X Games and he pulled off the 900 and just things took off. He has the Tony Hawk skateboarding game, which I really enjoyed playing as a kid growing up. And he just has all these endorsement deals and stuff like that. It was just a different path to this greatness. It wasn't easy, and it was really cool to see. Again, you don't have to be a fan of Tony Hawk or skateboarding to enjoy this. So I recommend to go check it out. It's a good watch. But those are just my thoughts on it. If you've seen it, please let me know what you thought about it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Deuces.